Hi, friends. Welcome to today's session of Family Story Times on Race and Diversity. I'm Sira Williams. I'm the Children's Librarian at the Red Bank Public Library, and I'm actually at home today, but I brought some good books home with me, and these are going to relate to some of the things that we're going to talk about today. But it's been a little while since our last session. I've been thinking about you, and I'm very curious. I want to know, do you speak another language in your home? Do ya? Do you know anybody that does? Maybe you have a friend or a neighbor or a classmate? How about this? Do you take a foreign language at school? If you do, I think that's great, because guess what? Most of the people in this world speak a different language besides English. Did you even know that? I know it seems like everybody around you speaks English, but most of the people in the world don't. So if you do speak another language, that's just another great way for you to connect with people that are different than you and to make some new and good connections. That's what we're going to talk about. That's what I want you to talk about at home. We've talked about it a million times in this program, but remind yourselves of all the ways that we can relate to other people, even if we come from a different place, we speak a different language, we have different color skin, we're from a different culture, we eat different foods, we identify in different ways. You know that there's lots of things that you have in common. So what are they? Because if you can remember that we have those points of connection, then you should remember that you need to treat everybody the way you want to be treated. Do you remember that? What that's called? That's called the golden rule. Talk about it, remember it, try to live by it. And the other thing is, if you can take it a step further, you can try to make friendships with those people that are different than you, and that can really enrich your life. Trust me. So I want you to keep that in mind as we talk about what we're going to talk about today. And that is, we're celebrating all the diversity that we find in our country and in our communities, because this month is Hispanic Heritage Month. It's also LGBT History Month. It is also Filipino American History Month, and Columbus Day is coming. And a lot of people refer to Columbus Day now as Indigenous Peoples Day, where we celebrate our Native American history. That's so important. And so the books that I brought home represent those things: Native American history, Hispanic history, the LGBTQ experience, and those are things that I don't personally have experience with, but it's great to learn about. And books is one of the easiest, best ways to do that. Remember, we talked about window books, where you look out and you read about people and places that are different than you and that you know nothing about. We also talked about mirror books, where you're reading about things that you know, kids and people that look like you, that have lives that are similar to yours. And that's great too. We need to be reading both. And when we celebrate these kinds of months throughout the year, whether it's Black History Month or Hispanic Heritage Month, that's not the only time that we should be doing that. You know that, right? So reading books, watching movies and shows with characters that are diverse, talking to people, growing our circle, making new friends with people that are different than us, and hearing their stories and sharing our own story. That's the way we want to do it. So for that reason, I invited somebody really special to come and read for us today. This is our first guest reader, and she's one of my library friends. Her name is Julie. She's a high school student in our town, and she speaks English and Spanish, and that makes her bilingual, because in her home, her parents mostly speak Spanish. And so she speaks Spanish at home, but she speaks English at school and out in the community. And so she uses that skill to be able to speak both languages to help other Spanish-speaking kids at school, at high school, and in our community. She just works really hard is involved in a lot of organizations, and I really admire her for that. And she's very proud of who she is and where she comes from. So she is going to read this book for us. It's called Dreamers. It's by Yuyi Morales. And in Spanish, it's called Soñadores. And she's going to read it for us in Spanish and English, which is going to be awesome. I want you to pay attention, as always, to the illustrations and to the story. It's an immigration story about a young family that comes to America that doesn't speak English, and it's their story of how they make their way. And listen to Julie. I hope you enjoy it. Dreamers, Soñadores. I'll see you on the other side because I Zoom with Julie. I ask her some questions so she can share her story with us, and you can hear about some of the good work that she's doing. And maybe that'll give you some things to talk about at home too. All right? Pay attention.
Hoy vamos a leer Soñadores. We are going to read the book Dreamers today. Soñé contigo llegaste, juntos ahora erramos, una vida resplandeciente tú y yo. I dreamt with you and you came, together we were, a resplendent life, you and I. Un día empacamos nuestras mochilas y cruzamos un puente tan extenso como el universo, llevando con nosotros nuestros regalos. One day we packed our bags and we crossed the bridge, huge like the universe, and we brought all our gifts with us. Y cuando llegamos al otro lado, sin dientes sobrecogidos, sin poder volver atrás, los convertimos en inmigrantes. And when we came on the other side, we couldn't go back. We turned into immigrants. Migrantes, tú y yo, la tierra y el cielo, nos recibieron con palabras diferentes a los de nuestros ancestros. Immigrants, you and I, the earth and the sky, they received us with different types of words of those of our ancestors. Había tantas cosas que desconocimos, sin poder entender y con miedo a hablar. Cometimos muchos errores. There were so many things that we didn't recognize, and we couldn't understand, and we were scared to speak. We made a lot of mistakes. Tú y yo, ahora caminantes, miles y miles de pasos dimos por esta tierra hasta el día en que encontramos. You and I, now walking along the path, miles and miles of steps with all over this land, until one day we found something. Un lugar que nunca antes habíamos visto, misterioso, fantástico. A place we've never seen, mysterious and fantastic. Incredible and surprising. Increíble y sorprendente. Inimaginable, unimaginable. Donde no necesitamos hablar, solo confiar. Y eso hicimos. A place where you didn't need to speak, only trust. And that's what we did. Los libros se convirtieron en esta lengua, los libros se convirtieron en nuestro hogar, los libros se convirtieron en nuestra vida, y tú y yo aprendimos a leer. The books turned into our language, The books turned into our new home, and the books turned into our new life. You and I, we learned how to read. To speak and to write, and do new things with our voices. A hablar y escribir y hacer oír nuestras voces. Algún día llegaremos a hacer algo que ni siquiera nos imaginamos. Por ahora, one day we will become something that we've never even imagined. But for now, somos historia, somos dos lenguas, somos lucha, somos tenacidad, somos esperanza, somos soñadores, soñadores del mundo, somos amor. We are stories, we are two languages, we are the fight, and we are resilient. We are hope, we are dreamers, dreamers of the world, we are love. Gracias por escucharme leer este libro y espero que ustedes tengan un feliz mes de herencia hispana. Thank you for hearing my story and thank you for listening. Have a nice day and happy Hispanic Heritage Month.
Hey, Julie, thank you so much for coming to our session of Family Story Times on Race and Diversity today and for reading this wonderful book, Dreamers, Soñadores, for us. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I'm a senior at Red Bank Regional High School. I'm currently the president of the RBR Dreamers, and my parents are Mexican immigrants. I'm proud of my heritage and where I'm from, and I'm very excited to be reading this book and representing my community. Mi nombre es Julie Flores Castillo, estoy en el grado 12 de Red Bank High School y estoy muy orgullosa de dónde soy, ser mexicana, pero también de dónde vengo. Y estoy muy emocionada para leer este libro de ustedes.
Wow, I'm so excited that you're speaking in both English and Spanish. What about this book resonated to you? I know that I was excited to know that the library was a special place for this family when they came to America and that they found it a welcoming place and a place where they could learn and grow. And so that's what was special about it for me. But how about you?
To me, it was also the same thing, but also seeing the journey that a parent takes in order for their child to have a better life. And just seeing how through words and through books, you can easily connect with the author's message and their own words. You might not know how that author looks like or where they're from, but that doesn't matter. You can easily connect to them in many different ways, and through books is one of the most important and one of the most biggest ways someone can connect.
I love that you said that. Okay, say it in Spanish now.
Para mí la cosa más importante del libro es que la mamá que es inmigrante, ella se fue a otro país con su hijo para darle una vida mejor, pero también el mensaje importante es que ellos se conectaron con libros. Los libros tienen palabras y diferentes mensajes que cualquier persona puede conectarse. Y el que escribió el libro no sabes cómo se ven o de dónde son, pero tú mismo puedes conectarte con ellos. Y no importa de dónde son, porque todos tenemos los mismos historias y los mismos sentimientos que todos los demás tienen.
I think you said that we all share the same stories, and that's something that we talk about a lot in this program, that everybody has their own story, and even though we're all different, we're all the same in a lot of different ways. So can you tell us a little bit about your story and some of the kids that you work with, and maybe what it's like to be a kid whose family speaks a different language, and how we can be more welcoming and inclusive of those children in our lives?
So for me, my first language was Spanish. I didn't know English until further on in the primary school. because my parents' first language is Spanish. That's what they mainly speak. So now that I'm older, I speak Spanish at home and I speak English when I'm at school with my friends. But one thing that has really motivated me because of that is to help others who are struggling with learning the language or need help with translating something. So a few things I really loved enjoying to do were helping kids at the primary school and helping them with their homework, but also translating for parent-teacher conferences and going to my high school and translating for back to school night, because seeing those other parents reminds me of my parents and where I once was in that position.
I think it's a wonderful service that you're doing. What can school-age kids do to be more welcoming and just to reach out and make and grow their circle and make friends with kids who may be new to the country, who maybe don't speak English so well? Is there something that we should have in our minds to try to reach out to them?
So even if you might not speak the language that they might speak, I think it's important to maybe find someone else you might know who can speak that language and then help them with whatever they need. Me personally, since I know how to speak Spanish, I love helping anyone with whatever they need. If they need help finding a class or need help setting something up on their Chromebook or, asking a teacher for help, I'm glad to help them in any way I can.
Don't you think it's also true that all kids like to play games, like to read books, watch shows, and there's like so many things that maybe even if you don't speak the same language, you can kind of connect and start making a relationship?
Yes, definitely, because in the high school, we have the ESL program, which is specifically for incoming students from other countries. And we have the same gym class as them. They're not separated into other gym classes. So whatever grade they pertain to, they are put with us. And, we do the same activities that, we do with different kids. So we always just try and do the activities together as a whole class.
That's great. Is there anything else that you want to share with the people that are watching this program today?
Yes, one thing I really want to just put out there is to not be ashamed of like where you're from and to accept, your background, your roots, and just to embrace them, because for me, definitely it has taken a while for me to accept and to fully, really like love myself and just learn more about where I'm from. So I'm proud to be, the daughter of Mexican immigrants. I'm proud to be Hispanic, but I'm also proud to be helping anyone in need.
That is such a beautiful message. I love it. And I want all kids to know that they should be proud of who they are, that they're all special, no matter where they come from, what their background is, what they look like. And it takes a long time sometimes to get to that point. I don't think you're unique, but that's what we all should be working for, and we should be encouraging each other to know that about each other as well. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I wish you all the best. You're doing such great things. I really admire you and all the good work that you're doing. And I wish you nothing but success.
Thank you for having this program.
Thanks, Julie. So if you guys would like to see this book up close and personal, you have to check it out at the library, okay? We have it in both English and Spanish, and it really is a beautiful book. Here they are, discovering the library, and it's just a place where the world comes alive for them. So I hope to see you at the library soon. I do want to share a quick poem with you to wrap up. It's from a brand new book that I just got today. It's called Woke, A Young Poet's Call to Justice. And there's a poem in here about immigration. And I think it will be just a nice way for us to finish up this program. It's called Unfurling People by Elizabeth Acevedo. Unfurling means opening up, like a ball of twine or yarn unfurling. And it says people leave their homes, even when they love their homes, because people are like flowers, and sometimes the places where we live do not have enough to water us all, or they have enough sunlight, but it's being used to scorch us, or the soil is fertile, but those who tend it want to pluck us straight out before we've grown to our full potential. And so immigration is like tucking your roots carefully into yourself and repotting in a different land. Immigration is an attempt to bloom and blossom and brighten a new place with the colors and scents you've brought with you. It's an attempt to remember where you are from and the place that made you, and also unfurl to the possibilities of the new place you call home. Immigration is learning to stretch into a bridge, backwards and forwards, one limb in each place, learning to hold tight to traditions and customs and names and memories in one hand, and with the other hand, let go and lean into a place you hope will see you for all the beauty that you bring. I love that. I'm going to leave that with you. Hopefully you have lots to talk about. I'm going to leave you with a lot of peace and love. Take good care of yourselves until next time. Stay well and be good to one another. Take care. Bye.